the secret files of Teletraan 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the files of Teletraan 2. This month we are once again talking comics. I am Mikey, still young and virile, and today I am joined by Andy, old and withered.
You're older than me.
Yeah, but I'm virile.
I don't believe that for a second. Show me the proof. I want to see the sperm samples.
I could, but it all get flushed away. Hello.
I want to see how jiggly they are.
Just jiggle a bit.
Yep.
Open all hours joke. Oh dear, how are you, Andy?
I'm not too bad, cheers, Mr. Mike. What about yourself?
I'm alright. An official happy birthday to you, since this is being recorded on the day of your spawning.
That is, yes, the 15th is my day. It's the day of Andy. The day we all feared.
Your day, Andy's birthday.
Was that meant to be a song from something?
I don't know.
Okay, I thought you knew.
Not a clue. I just make noises.
That sounds about right.
Well, on Andy's birthday, we thought we'd reward him with certainly a trio of interesting comics. Because we have Optimus Prime issue 12, we have Lost Light issue 10, and for you Patreon listeners out there, we have, if I could finish the sentence, we have ROM issue 4, or ROM versus Transformers issue 4. Andy.
Yes. Transformers, Mikey. They happened this week, or last month, or whenever they took place.
As I tried to cover up the fact I closed my reference page.
Yeah, we've had a little bit of a not a problem getting to these issues, but because of the scheduling, they've been coming out pretty late in the month.
Yes,
so we kind of need to wait till the middle of the month to put these episodes out, really.
Yeah, and I also, last show, I actually thought we were doing this issue of ROM. Because I had read it, and I was just like, aren't we doing it? No, the schedule is all fucked up. Oh, right.
Yeah.
So yeah, the IDW, from what I understand, across the board, has had a bit of a kick in the teeth in terms of scheduling the last 6 months or so. So
that's a shame. Do you think they'll get back on track, or do you think this is just going to be the new schedule, effectively?
I think it'll iron itself out eventually.
And it'll get back to, middle of the month releases rather than the end of the month.
Either that, or I think they'll try and spread them out through the month, so there's always an issue coming out.
Yeah, okay, I can see that.
But anyway, I'm done stalling. So let's get straight into it. Optimus Prime issue 12, Primeless Part 2, or as I continue to call it, Everyone Shits on Aileron Part 2.
Poor Aileron.
Yes. Poor, wonderful Aileron, who I am now more in love with than ever. So this issue opens up with kind of the greatest hero of them all, Thundercracker flying to Sanctuary Station with Buster to basically kind of sort of check up on the Decepticons to make sure no one's gone off doing the evils.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Well, because at this point it's coincide with First Strike, Optimus and the Earth delegation has disappeared, and people are just like, did you guys do it? You might have done it. He meets up with Cosmos. Cosmos says 2 shuttles are missing, but he only knows of the crew of 1, which is Acid Storm and... I don't remember who the other guy's name is. On Earth, Aileron is still struggling to try and control the colonists, this time because Jazz is in the fight with humans who have Cybertronian weaponry. They all dive in. There's a big tussle, and Jazz manages to grab hold of one of the humans, keeps him hostage, and basically says, "Tell me where you're getting the guns." And then he sort of asks, "Oh, Optimus sent you." No. Oh, right.
Oh, so they came for the guns, right? No.
Yeah. No.
Oh. Okay.
So you... Right. Why are you here? We're here for you! Oh. You're here for me. It goes kind of downhill for poor old Jazz after that. Aileron, Jazz, and the colonists make their way to a remote area using a human aeronautics... basically, Aaron from TFW.
Oh, a wizard, a fake lying wizard.
He probably runs around going, "I'm a helicopter." Woo!
Lies!
But he's a bit significant because we'll get to him later on. What's his name? His name is in here somewhere. Chavez. His name is Chavez. So he's basically comics version of Aaron from TFW. But yes, he leads them to his arms dealer, which is 2 90s guys. And they are greeted by Samuel L. Jackson and John Travolta.
Yeah, from Pulp Fiction.
Possibly because he's not an idiot, Jazz realizes what's going on and steps on them, freaking everyone out. And it turns out that they're holometer avatars of Rumble and Frenzy, who have been selling guns since before Galvatron died.
Yeah.
Not for any real reason, just because they're dicks. They're getting paid.
I don't want a huge discussion topic about this just yet, but how were they being paid? Like, what were they paid in?
No hugs.
Like money, because they don't need money.
Well, I mean, the only place they can get anything is Earth. Like, maybe they need parts. Maybe one of them's collecting rare coins.
Oh, that'd be great.
Rumble's just got a really expensive coin collection that he's like fueling.
He's on all the coin collecting boards.
Yep, and then unfortunately, they're all kind of confronted with the fact that this is a bit of a diplomatic incident. If they come out and say, yes, another one. If they come out and say the Decepticons are selling the guns, humans are going to be like, oh, Cybertronians again. If they do it in secret but have Autobot justice in place, the Decepticons are going to be like, I'm sorry, what? And how will that affect Soundwave? Rumble and Frenzy want to be handed over to Soundwave's mercies. And Aileron, who's really not because she wants to be, but just because she seems to be the only one with her head halfway on straight, is kind of falling into a leadership role of saying, like, well, maybe things will be ironed. She does a lot of this throughout the issue. Things will be ironed over. Slide freaks out because Slide, that's what she does. And Jazz backs Slide up by saying, this is just what people who are going down the wrong road do. He then decides to bugger off, for want of a better word. He has had enough of hiding from people. He's had enough of the conflict. He's had enough of Optimus. Because he's very personally insulted that Optimus didn't come from himself, and makes a very interesting point that to them, Optimus Prime has failed. To him, Orion Pax has failed. He leaves. The Autobots head back to Autobot City with Rumble and Frenzy in tow, and Aileron covers up. She says they found the source of the weapons. Don't know who. Maybe it's an old EDC stash. Maybe not. Who knows? And she retires to her recharge slab and just stares at the ceiling, unable to sleep.
Yeah.
Yep. Meanwhile, this is again interspersed with interviews. In this case, we have Decepticons who are giving their sort of view, not on necessarily on the whole Earth-Cybertron relations, but on the disconnect from Cybertron. We've got humans who are giving their view on why they've taken up arms against the Cybertronians. And finally, we have the point of view of the colonists, how they see things, mostly how they see Optimus Prime. So, Andy, before we get into topics, overall impression of this issue?
I thought it was okay. It didn't wow me, but it had some nice bits in it, which I was like, yeah, okay. It was very much just leave Aileron alone. She's she's learning what it means to be a leader, and I don't want that for her because being a leader sucks.
Well, that leads nicely into the topic, which is the ongoing development of Aileron, who went from nobody to kind of huge.
Sorry, did you say the development to the tomfuckery of Aileron, where they keep screwing her over? Character development through pain.
Yep, because these two issues have been from her perspective, and we see that what she wants and what she worries about are two very different things. And she's often she points out at one point, like, is this what it's like for Optimus?
Yeah, I thought that was nice. I thought that was a nice realization for her as a character.
But what have you thought about this kind of tomfuckery development?
No, I like it. It's a good way to thrust someone new into that kind of sort of leadership role, and it gives us, the reader, a new way to look at how Optimus has to deal with things, but from a much less experienced point of view, and the realization of, oh God, I don't want to do this. There are too many. This isn't like an 80s cartoon where it's just, this is the one answer that you choose, or you choose the bad answer. This is, if I choose any answer, it's bad, but in varying different degrees of how bad is it and who's it bad for. And I like that. I think it's a good way of it feels like an adultish way of handling leadership and turmoil like that. So I enjoyed it, though I would have liked to have seen Aileron have maybe one happy moment in the comic, and not end with her lying in bed, basically staring up at the ceiling, wondering about her entire life and if she's done anything that could kill hundreds of people.
Yeah, she's basically just wondering Will she be able to look at herself in the mirror tomorrow?
Yeah, like, I'm surprised we didn't get a picture of her, like, curled up in a ball, just slowly rocking back and forth, saying, Prime, come back, please.
Prime, Soundwave, anyone, please.
Yep. Just don't stop letting me having to deal with this shit.
Put someone else in charge. Oh dear, but I thought I've really loved the development of Aileron in this story. I thought it was excellent. I also think it's really good to have her there as a counterpoint to the colonists, because she was there. She saw it from their perspective and she grew up. And her fate has been shaken, but I like that in the end it does seem like she doesn't see Optimus as the divine he once was in her eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, she still clearly believes, but she sees him as a person, but she's also able to see things from his perspective now.
Yeah, yeah.
And see that he has made some very hard, very complicated decisions in recent years. And I thought that was very well handled. Also, like, just loved the bit where she turned around to Slide and told her to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I kind of wanted her to punch her in a stupid colonist face.
Yep. Another good lead in. Let's talk the colonists, because, oh my god, they're out of control.
Yeah. Yeah, they're all pretty insufferable.
Yep.
In different ways.
yeah. Let's see. You've got. If I'll just open the page now.
Actually, there are some that aren't, but they're barely touched on in any of the issues that they've been in, so that's maybe why they're not as insufferable.
Like Roulette and Midnight aren't too bad.
No, Roulette seems fairly reasonable. She still. It feels like she still kind of looks at Prime in a somewhat divine sense, but not like She doesn't feel like a religious maniac about it.
Midnight is he's probably the easily the most forgettable one.
Yeah,
because he's just like, yep, I think Prime's great. I'm a train.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say that as well. What's he defining characteristic? I'm a train.
I'm a train
toot,
with no
toot.
tracks. Why don't I have tracks?
He manages all right though for not having any tracks.
He does. They use him drag stuff away.
Yeah,
like the two Eucarians, Gimlet and Bump. They're a bit bloodthirsty.
They are. Yeah. Bump seems less problematic than Gimlet though.
Yeah, Gimlet seems like he would actually rip someone in half.
Yeah, I say that because of Bump's interview little segment. I was like, he seems more reasonable than some of the other ones, but okay, yeah.
I've liked his one, because his one like, I'm not sure if he's Jesus.
Yeah.
He might be Jesus, but I'm not certain.
He might just be a normal dude like us. I was like, he's learning, maybe.
Yeah. Roulette's is an interesting one there. It's just like, Orion Pax. Wow, he chose to be one of us. He's amazing. He's amazing. He pretended to be normal.
Yeah, that one's a bit stranger.
That's a bit creepy.
Do you have a feeling the Eucarians are violent not because these are just crazy youths, but because you kind of have to be on that planet? That's kind of how I looked at it. It's part of their culture that they have to be overly aggressive because of their beast modes, maybe because of the environment, but that's just how they are as a race.
Because there's a big emphasis on tribalism on Eucharis.
Yes, yeah.
So, I mean, those two wouldn't even be allowed to talk to each other back home.
No, you're right, yeah, because they're in two different animal groups, so one's a fish thing and one's a armadillo.
I think it's land tribe and water. Yeah, it's land tribe and water tribe. Because
probably
like Air Razor and Tigertron are like they're in the deep shit.
And now they're fucking.
Yep.
Now they're fucking.
And we know they do that. Thank you, Margaret. We know Transformers do that now.
Well, that's what happens when politics get stressful. You just gotta sex it out. Right?
Poor Onslaught. Oh dear. And finally, Slide.
Like you just need, when you're Onslaught, you just need to forget. That's all you need to do.
That's
just
the problem.
He
did.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
Yeah, but the last face he saw going to sleep was Starscream.
That's right.
Just waving. Bye.
as he pulls out a big Cybertronian dildo. Go to sleep.
Oh dear.
Bad Starscream.
Can you see why I tried to cut him off there? I failed you, listeners. But then Slide is... I find Slide's most interesting because hers is just like, yeah, when we came here, I was super into all this.
Yeah.
And then it just ends. And it's like, and we're moving on. Because Slide is vicious in this.
Yeah, I hate Slide.
She does not miss an opportunity to not just have problems with things, she is deliberately verbally abusing Aileron.
Yeah.
And I mean, I get the logic of Slide. Like, I do. I'm not criticizing the writing. I'm just saying I'm just not like, that's the character I have learned to really dislike.
Yes, yeah. It's not bad. It's not badly written, like you say. It's just she's the worst.
I can't tell if it's because she's handling grief badly, or if because she's handling the realization that he's not going to do things the way she thinks they should be done.
It could be a combination of the two, really, because she's technically missing half of herself in the greatest sense of the word. So that can't be a good thing.
It's, I don't know, but I'm not liking them as people, but I am interested in them now, which I think is good. It's just like they all seem very young.
Yeah, they really do.
Like, Aileron seemed young when she showed up, but she grew up fast. I mean, what's her section in the thing? It's yeah, she's just basically like, yep, we gotta work at it. We gotta work at it. I gotta keep us going. That's
a look of a leader as well, not someone who's enjoying their life.
Yeah, and everyone else has their face plates, and you got Slide, who's got this sort of wistful look, and everyone else is a face plated loony, and then Aileron is just like, this is my job.
Yep. Just got to get through today.
But then we also have Jazz back. This is the book of put upon people.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because
two put upon people.
Yeah.
So 3 if you include Cosmos, though, I suppose. But yeah.
Yeah. Poor shat upon Cosmos. But from a great height.
What is it about you, John? Why do you like to shit on fun characters?
Why do you literally have Messine talking about shit? Oh dear, but Jazz interested me in this because Jazz is very closely tied to the whole colonist viewpoint and things, in that he does not see Optimus as a different person from Orion. And for him, it was, my friend fucked me over.
Yeah,
and he did it for politics, and he didn't come out to explain it. He didn't even come looking for me. You went looking for me because you realized things were going to shit, and someone probably should find the one loose Cybertronian you know of. And I love the line with Jazz, when you make a mistake, you just keep making it over and over and over until it becomes part of the tune. I thought that was nice.
That was quite sad as well.
I mean, I don't know what's in store for the future of Jazz.
No.
I mean, where is he going? What is Jazz aiming to do now?
Get repaint as Ricochet and come back as a bad guy.
Just say, like, I'm wearing purple now. What were your thoughts on the whole Jazz thing?
I liked it because, again, you can see from his point of view why he would be upset that his buddy, after millions and millions of years, kind of just fucked him over. But I got a flip back question for you, Mikey. Do you think what Prime did was the right move? Because I think that's a very difficult and yet interesting question, because Jazz is seeing it from his point of view, which is understandable because he's just been told this, so you're going to think about, oh, fuck. But did Prime do the right thing? And I think that's a much more difficult question. Very, very difficult, because, I mean, Jazz will never see it as the right thing, because, unfortunately, he's the one who came out short in it. But, yeah. I mean, Optimus is not a peacetime leader, and he's having to make peacetime political decisions. Yeah. And he's going for advice to the nearest political leader he can, well, I don't know about trust, but talk to. America. I think it's very complicated. I think, on one hand, it was the wrong thing to do, because he has really damaged a friendship and a very reliable ally. Yeah. On the other hand, the world is waiting for a chance to tear them apart. Yeah. It's real difficult. It's real difficult. I think technically he made the right choice in abandoning Jazz. Not the morally right choice, but the right choice for the bigger picture. And unfortunately, when you're a leader, I suppose you have to go for that bigger picture. Yeah. It's not fun. No. The problem is, this could, like, that one decision could have ripple effects that, because we have no idea what Jazz is going to do. If Jazz knew that Prime was going to come for him, Jazz would have probably come back, I would assume, right? Or he would have stayed put Yeah, like now Jazz, because of this, is a bit more of a wild card, and no one knows exactly what he's going to do or what his plans are. So that is going to have consequences. So it's it's tricky, difficult. I like it.
I like it, especially when you consider that Pyra's working in the background.
Oh, what a bitch!
And she is looking for any, like, I'm not saying Jazz joins Pyra's side if it comes down to it, but any chink in the armor kind of thing. Yeah,
it's an extra piece that she can use in the game, whether it's for her or if it can be manipulated for her purpose, you know.
Because remember, she needs to be leader because Onyx didn't murder her.
Yep, that means a god said that it was cool. It's like, no, that's
a guy we literally learned made up the whole god shit a couple of issues ago.
Yep.
Because he's a dick. Like, it's very interesting to me. At least made up a lot of the god stuff. But moving on from there, we've got the Decepticons. That's something we can talk about. They have their section. They have their chatty section, but we also get a bit of time in Sanctuary Station, which I've been wondering about for donkey's years. Because we haven't actually... I was kind of hoping we'd have an issue set there at some point, but so far we've had nothing. We see Slug Slinger. I don't know if that's a toy ad.
I mean, maybe.
Because he was... I think he was in the end of RID.
Was he?
I think so. Because I think he was one of the guys in the Galvatronus combiner.
Okay.
But I'm not 100% sure. But what did you think of... I mean, apart from that, it's just fun, because Thundercracker and Cosmos and Skybite is just a wonderful trio.
Oh, yes.
Skybite's like, I write nice poems.
What did you say about my poems? Did you say they were poop?
You say my poems are poop? Your writing's poop. You can't write a screenplay.
Who's saying my poems are poop? I hate them.
Flips a table.
I want to know who made a spacesuit for Buster.
Probably Marissa.
How? I'm pretty sure you can't just sew one of those together.
Well, they used to send dogs into space.
Yes, but
they didn't come back, but they used to send dogs into space.
Does that mean Marissa had connections that made a spacesuit, or did Thundercracker make a spacesuit? Because I would have liked like a mini issue in the back of the comic of Thundercracker making a spacesuit for his dog.
See, I like the idea that Marissa has these really high-end connections. Like, you know, top brass calls up, need a favor.
Calls up like Destro.
Yeah, need
a
favor.
Destro.
Yeah? Need you to make a spacesuit. Oh, what's your size? Not for me. I have a dog. Or rather, my robot boyfriend has a dog.
What? And they got a poop joke in there as well.
Yes, they did. I did not think that would happen.
I didn't think... I mean, it makes sense. It's not like it doesn't make any sense, because, that little dog did well for holding it as long as it did flying through the vastness of space. Which I'm sure for a dog would perhaps freak it out a little bit.
Yeah, first dog on Jupiter.
Yeah. Well, on a Jupiter space station.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, near Jupiter.
First dog near Jupiter. First dog to orbit Jupiter. Better?
Yeah, because I don't think the dog could survive on Jupiter.
Just throw her out.
Just to guess. And I want to know who's going to clean up that dog poop.
Probably Cosmos.
Probably. Someone will clean that up. That'll
because
be
they'll go like, buddy, pal, guys.
They made poop sound the least disgusting as well that they possibly could, which I did appreciate. They made it seem like a function, which it is, rather than a gross thing that we all do.
It seemed more like Thundercracker just couldn't think of how do you explain it to someone who didn't know what it was.
Yeah, because, I mean, I think he did a good job explaining it like you would do to a machine. Or an entity that doesn't poop or need to poop.
Yeah, but
from the interviews, I'll tell you, I thought the saddest one was Buzzsaws.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
I read that and went, "Oh."
Yeah, like Laserbeak is just like, yeah, well, fuck Cybertron.
Yeah, there was no place for me to perch. I got a place to perch, and I got Energon to peck out. Fuck you.
You just you treated me like a horse. Fuck you.
Yeah.
And cut to Buzzsaw. I just want to go. I hope everyone's okay.
To be fair, during the time of like Sentinel Prime and all that jazz, I can't imagine either of these two would have had that good of a time.
No, they didn't.
No.
But the interesting thing, like, this only puts Buzzsaw certainly in a whole new light to me. Like, is he really, really trying to be mean to everyone to hide his deep, long-standing insecurities and worries?
Well, it says he's along for the ride, so that might be the case.
Did Laserbeak just sort of grab him and saying, "We're leaving"?
I don't think... I think he would have been more sticking with Soundwave, because he's been with that team for forever, so they're almost like his little friend crew kind of thing. But yeah, you could see him being mean to people as less of a thing of him wanting to be mean and more of a thing of, yeah, I'm with my friends, so I guess I have to do it. This is maybe a thing that is just a thing that we do. I do it so that I can still be friends with you, Laserbeak.
Don't fly off.
Don't leave me. Oh, that's even sadder. Well, what if that is the case? 'Cause he just doesn't want to be left alone.
Oh my god, that's tragic. John, you monster.
Yeah, I like this because it makes him a really interesting but sad character who I just want to hug and pet and go, no, tiny robot bird. Don't say mean things. I love you.
Oh, poor Buzzsaw. But poor Cosmos as well.
Oh, yeah.
Like, everyone's friends. Everyone likes me here, you know. It's great. Everyone likes me. Slugslinger 5 say, well, I'm not going to tell him anything. I know took it. No.
Yeah.
Fucking Autobots. Fucking Autobots want their war. Fine, I'm not telling them anything. Cut to Cosmos. It's amazing. All my friends here.
Because it's these 6 dudes, Acid Storm, Squeeze Play, Rumble, and Frenzy. So he is the only Autobot up there, and Rumble and Frenzy are dicks.
Yep.
Laserbeak is a dick, and Buzzsaw probably goes along with it seems like.
And Needle Nose is just kind of coming to terms with himself.
Yeah, Skybite's probably the most accommodating there, I would guess.
Yeah.
As long as you're willing to listen to his poetry. So I can't imagine he has the best time, does Cosmos.
No. But I like Needle Nose's bit.
Yeah.
Because Needle Nose has come a long way.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Because, you know, when they reunited, he took a swing at his brother, and now he's like going, oh yeah, right, we've gotten past that.
Yes.
Haven't seen him in a while, hope he's okay. But I like it. I like that Needle Nose went somewhere, because when they introduced the idea of Needle Nose being a prominent character, they made him complicated. But that is actually kind of most of the issue, bar probably, I'd have to say, the weakest page.
All right.
Which was the last interview that we haven't talked about.
Oh,
by the way, I forgot to say, Andrew drew this one.
Yes, I did think it looked a little bit different when I got to the last panel on the first page and I saw Skybite. I was like, that doesn't look like Kay's work. And I went, hang on, let's go back. Oh, no, it's Andrew, yeah. It was nice to see him back for a bit as well.
Yeah, saw a few people say, oh, he's matching Kay's style. I think that's more Josh's colors. But yeah, so we get the human page, which is the guys with the guns, and them explaining their point of view. And there's a theme emerging here.
What's the theme, Mikey?
We gotta protect ourselves because we're America. To quote South Park. Because we have an ex-military guy who says, I have a right to own guns. We have an ex-military woman who says, I can hold guns. The government holds guns. Eventually they'll turn on us. I've got a gun. We've got a college professor who says, I was naive not to want a gun.
And now I have a gun.
Yeah, and he's just looking at it.
He is.
We've got Aaron just going like, probably both reasons. One, I have a family and I'm scared for them.
Mm-hmm.
We have the ex-Skywatch lady, who's just like, if everyone's going to have guns, probably best I have a gun. And finally, we don't need to kill ourselves some robots. Because they need to die. I need to go back over there and need to build a wall.
I'm ready for him.
Yeah. Just a wee bit political, do you think?
A little bit maybe, but it fits in the context of the story. I would say, from what they've been building up to, I guess, and it kind of makes sense from their point of view as giant robots who are made of weapons are slightly more intimidating than just other people from other countries.
Yeah. And also, guy who wants to just shoot giant robots.
Yeah. There's probably less of an ethical debate for most of these people as well, shooting a robot to shooting a person from their perspective, because you could dehumanize them and just say, well, they're not human, so it doesn't matter if I shoot them.
Yeah. It just felt everyone was saying the same thing, I think, here, and I didn't get the sense of different viewpoints.
Yeah, no.
I got the sense of making a point about people who, say these things about guns.
Yeah, you could be right.
And they tend to sound a bit. And I don't know. Just picked it up like that way. And to be honest, I get enough of that in real life these days.
Oh God, yes.
And
Too much.
I'm tired of, kind of tired of hearing about guns in general. So may have colored my view a bit. But yeah, that's kind of the issue. Like I said, there's not the stuff we can talk about in detail, but it's all brief enough. So what was your rating, Andy?
First, a quick question. I think I've probably asked this before, but what's the context of these interviews? Like, who's doing the interviews?
We don't know, because they show up again in the Transformers Optimus Prime First Strike two-parter.
Right.
Which is basically Revolutionaries two-parter, where the teams are talking to the camera.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, and I can say Marissa and Thundercracker at least probably have a thing for each other now, because Action Man fancies RC.
What?
He thinks she's hot. He literally climbs into her as she drives away and tries to chat her up.
The way that you phrased that, Mikey.
I did that on purpose. But so just we'll be talking about that closer to Christmas. But
I can't imagine RC appreciates this, considering RC's usual mental state.
She's a little confused.
Perhaps, yes.
Cup thinks it's funny. Is also jealous. Because
of who?
It's like
of RC, because he wants Action Man's affection.
This is my human.
Okay.
It's like, stop calling my pet. This is my pet. But yes, Action Man thinks RC's kind of hot.
Wait, okay. Sure.
I don't know. Like, she's more human-shaped than most of them, so...
Boom.
Yeah. And she's pink. And as he says himself, I have a thing for older ladies. Because it's a reference to the fact he fancies Dr. X.
Oh, okay.
Who's a older yet still attractive lady in this.
Well, I suppose RC is technically a good few million years old, so she constitutes as an older lady, I suppose.
She constitutes as older
compared to a human.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, she constitutes as older than almost everyone else. Does she constitute as an older lady than everyone else because she was a guy first?
I don't know.
That's not me being insensitive. That's me trying to deal with the weirdness that is RC was biologically modified on the genetic level.
Yeah.
It's weird. That's a sci-fi idea that they didn't think through.
No.
I have said that many times.
And then they didn't really clean up super well.
No, so we all ignore it. We all just look forward. Nope. Spotlight RC was about a crazy lady killing people, and that's all we need to care about.
That's all. That's it.
Oh, moving on.
Andy. Yes. Rating.
What's your rating?
I think I enjoyed this about a 7 out of 10. I thought it was good. It was entertaining. The art was okay. It didn't blow me away. The art did stutter in places here and there, and the coloring was a little bit flat. But that's fine. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed what I read. What about you, Mikey?
Yeah, I think a 7 is a good rating. I liked it. There's a lot of stuff to get you thinking. There's a lot of interesting stuff here. But none of it's really wowing me. And it doesn't have those peaks in there to go, it's 7, but these little bits here and there really elevate the experience.
No.
It's just a solid read. It does make me very curious to see where this storyline is going. I know that next issue they're spending some time on Cybertron, but it's been a while since I said this, but I do want to get back to Earth so we can get this descent plot going, because there's a lot. What's Pyra going to do? Where's Soundwave? What's he going to do as part of this? How is Optimus going to handle this? What about Aileron? What about Jazz? There's a lot of stuff building here. But yeah, so a 7 all around, I think. Moving on to the second issue of the night, we have Lost Light issue 10, The Mutineers Trilogy Part 1, Plotters Club. Full circle, because this... How many names does this have?
All of them. It has all of the titles.
Yeah, but this opens with Mirage and the Protector Box crashing into the Lost Light. Because their shuttle was crippled from unknown reasons, and First Aid Mirage couldn't pull up.
I hate to say it, but the intro sequence did make me think of a Red Dwarf episode when the Starbug crashed into Red Dwarf. I hate to say that, but I did get that feeling.
You don't hate to say that.
I actually really do hate to say that.
Oh dear. But I'm before I continue on, is there anything else Red Dwarfy about this? Maybe, whatever.
Probably.
They get out of the ship and everyone pulls a gun on them. But then Getaway says, and everyone's friends, we're all friends here. First aid, buddy, pal, friend, guy. He completely washes over the fact that Megatron and Rodimus aren't there, and that everyone's calling him Captain. And, oh, by the way, Blades has hurt himself. You should totally go do doctor stuff. Blades and First Aid go to the Medibay. First Aid is sort of remembering a time Rodimus was a complete idiot, because that's not how hide-and-seek works. You're still three-dimensional. You also still have eyes and a mouth.
Yes.
And First Aid is like, ha, and also like, I like Getaway. I wouldn't trust him, but I like him. And it has decided to try and figure out what's going on by looking at the medical files. And finds that they can't get in. But he runs a spark check on the whole ship and finds that there are about 42 people missing. Ominous. Then they find a door that's locked. Blades is sent to get help. First Aid tries to cut it open, and then Getaway shows up and sort of goes like, "What you doing? What you doing with my door? Trying to open your locked door. It's not even locked. Look, it's open. I opened it." And Thunderclash is inside, completely out of it for unknown medical reasons. Possibly because Hoist has been his doctor. Which is just not a guy I trust. And Getaway reveals that the problem is that Megatron, Rodimus, and the Team Rod crew, whatever you want to call them, they all skedaddled because they basically thought they could find the Knights of Cybertron easier without the ship weighing them down. And Getaway's very sad because he thought he was part of the team.
Yay.
First Aid goes for a drink, not Swerves, Visages.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah, because, can I just say, it took Mirage 4.2 seconds to set himself back up.
Yeah.
And he doesn't sell pints. This is a cocktail bar.
Yeah.
It
looks awful.
Yeah, it really does. There's a lot of awkwardness as the security team seems to be watching First Aid fairly sharply. But then Hound and Hoist and the rest call First Aid over and tell them that everyone buggered off. It's really sad, but we're all managing. Hey, Megatron's gone. That's good. But then they list off who's gone. And First Aid notes that's not the number of people who are missing from the ship. He breaks into Swerves, which is all locked up and in the dark, and summons Mirage and the Protectobots, and basically says something's going on. This is not what should be happening. Mirage freaks out. Well, I think, it's Groove, I think, who's trying to turn on the light.
Yes.
As Mirage is having a freak out, Riptide comes in and says, "You are right to freak out because everything First Aid has figured out is true." They kicked Rodimus off the ship. It's revealed that the DJD it was originally thought that by readers due to implication that Getaway was working with the Galactic Council and didn't know they were sending Overlord. Turns out he was working with the DJD and the Galactic Council. And he told both where to find them.
What a dick.
Riptide basically got overcome with guilt and now had no one to turn to. But then Getaway shows up and basically finishes off the story because it turns out Thunderclash wasn't too happy with how things went, and he's not comatose, he is in a memory loop. He basically thinks he's reliving the same moment over and over and over again. And then the lights get turned on, and we find out why Swerves is locked because it has been turned into a brain storage place. A brain storage place where brains in spinal columns are being held and are covered in teeth marks. Rightfully, everyone freaks out. Riptide helps hold off the people while the Protectobots make a run for it with Mirage. They hit the shuttle bay, they escape, they get shot by the lost light, and then it turns out that they themselves are caught in a memory loop because the opening of the issue plays out all over again.
Yep.
And that's where it ends. So, before, Andy has a bugbear he wants to deal with.
I do,
and we'll get to that. But I will say this is definitely one of those ones where you can actually talk about a lot of topics because it's a mystery.
Yes.
And mysteries tend to be quite linear. So it's all very much focused from First Aid's point of view, but there's a couple of things I want to point out. But overall impressions of the issue.
Before the end of the issue, I thought it was a fairly decent story. I wasn't wowed by it because I've seen stuff like this before, but I was like, yeah, this is all right. It's not too jokey joke. It has a few of those, which I'm like, about. But yeah, apart until it gets to the end, I was like, yeah, this feels a little bit like it could be a next gen episode. Like, the team goes away for an away mission, then comes back home, and there's something wrong, and you got to figure out what's wrong. And yeah, then you find out everybody's playing weird sex games and having orgies together. Oh, come on, play this game, Wesley. Oh,
that was weird. That was weird. Your mother telling you to play that game.
Yep.
Yeah. Dark.
What about you, Mikey? How did you feel about this?
I didn't like the end, you. I didn't hit me as much. Overall, I describe this as it's a more than meets the eye issue. It feels like the old book, and that is a huge positive. That is a huge step up from the last.
Oh God, yes.
I found most of the jokes and stuff to be pretty standard for more than meets the eye. I think the issue with the other ones is that they don't stop. The Last Light is like 98% jokes and feelings.
Yeah.
Jokes whereas when you if we hadn't been kind of overwrought on both of those things a bit, I think the jokes here would have felt a lot more normal.
Yeah.
But I think it built up a very interesting mystery. I think it's going to have quite a dark bend because clearly Getaway was up to something.
Oh yes.
I enjoyed it. I really liked it. It's my favorite issue of the series by a country mile.
I would agree with that. With that.
But the end does make me go, why? Why? We'll do that now. Get it out of the way. The end is 4 pages. They actually added 4 pages to the size of the book, and they are the first 4 pages of the issue. Repeated. There's no changes. It's not like from a different perspective. There's nothing different. It's literally the 4 pages reprinted. And you figure out what's going on by the end of the bottom page, which means you then hang around for 3 pages waiting to see if something has changed.
Yep.
And that wasn't a good idea.
No.
That was something that backfired. What was your thoughts on it?
I hated it. I saw 4 pages exactly the same, and I thought, this is just being fucking lazy and hammering a very obvious point home. If you wanted to reuse a page, fine. You reuse 1 page, and then for the last panel, you have like the ship flying into the ship, and then it just But it's not. It's just from the outside perspective of that little shuttle flying into the ship, and then it just says the title of the book, and then that's it.
Yeah.
It didn't need to be another 3 pages. I'm not an idiot. Despite what people think.
I think it was very flawed. My idea for it would be you have them escape, you have them get shot and crash back into the ship. And then you cut to you spend a page from First Aid's point of view. You completely new art, everything seen from First Aid's point of view, same dialogue, but not as much of it. You cut out a few scenes, and you just end on the bit where Getaway says, "Oh, we'll have this conversation again."
Yeah, that would work well.
1 page of that from First Aid's perspective to give not only means you have to redraw that page from new angles and stuff, but it's a memory, which means it's all being seen from First Aid's perspective.
Yeah.
So I think that would have added everything in. But yeah, getting onto it, what did you think of the reveal about what's been going on in the ship?
I thought it was fairly interesting. It seems like, I wonder, this is the thing, because this is a memory, is it all a memory?
My assumption is this happened.
But did it fully happen this way? Because he does say that they tweaked Thunderclash's memory to make it more susceptible to the loop. So we don't know if one is the real version or if this is the slightly manipulated loop version. And since it plays the 4 pages again, it could be the exact same thing already tweaked.
The way I see the tweaking is at the start and at the end to make it easier for them to merge together. Like, I'd be very surprised if First Aid and the rest showed up in a damaged shuttle.
Right.
Because there's no reason for them, unless someone attacked them. Like, maybe Getaway, maybe Blades had something going on. They went to the med bay. Maybe not, but I see the start and the end as what as the tweak bits. That would make sense for me to create this looped effect.
Yeah.
To be honest, I would have just rewritten his memory, but what did you think about Getaway in this then? I mean, what was your opinion of Getaway before, actually? Just because we actually avoided covering more than Meets the Eye because we were interviewing James at the time we were starting all this again. So,
well, yeah, you're probably right, actually. Yeah. He's a good asshole character. As I was reading him, I was actually hearing, and I don't know whether this was deliberate on my part or not, I was hearing Steeljaw's voice actor.
Yeah, Nolan North.
Yeah. Is that who's doing his voice?
I
could see that.
That was
yeah.
Steeljaw.
Yeah. I think that's the voice I heard when I was reading
hang
all
on.
this.
No, Troy Baker. Sorry.
Are you sure this time?
Steeljaw is Troy Baker. There's the two. I always get them confused. I don't know
why. Either way, that was the voice I heard. He's a good slimy asshole character who just wants to be your friend. Promise.
Yeah. But did you? All right. So I have a theory about some stuff in this issue.
Okay.
Right? He says he was like just before the getaway from Getaway. Getaway is going like, oh well, I was hoping we wouldn't have to go this far, and he pulls out a gun. Except it's his nudge gun.
Is it?
Yeah, I checked. It's the gun that he uses to alter people's memories.
Right.
And something hit me, right? We were wondering how this would play out because, how did the rest of the crew take Getaway dropping the guys off on the planet? And then we thought it was being hinted at, he didn't think the biggest murderers in the world would show up. So, maybe they accepted it. Except now, Riptide knows, and probably a few other people know, or should know, that the DJD was coming. What if Getaway modified a few minds?
That would make sense. Make them slightly more susceptible to agreeing with him. Yeah.
Yeah.
That ensures order.
Yeah, and they're like, they think that Rodimus and Megatron actually did leave.
Yeah.
And did make a run for it, and it took everyone else with them. Because he went around shooting everyone in the brain.
Yeah.
Except, they make a point saying his security forces stick very close to him. And his security forces are made up of not nice people. Like, the monster bots are in there. So I could very easily see it. They're the guys who don't have the memory alterations. I mean, if you want to go down that route. I know, it's just an idea I had. What did you think about First Aid's point of view of all this? His sort of like finding out the darker side of everything.
I liked it that he felt like the main character figuring it out, like again on a Star Trek episode. It felt natural that he would as a doctor. He was given enough information to piece the parts of the mystery together. And then you had Riptide, who I hadn't forgotten about, but I was like, oh yeah, Riptide, he's there. It was nice for him to kind of crawl out of the shadows and just, fill in the gaps and all that, and then have the big reveal and everybody start running away. Didn't really know exactly what was going on with the brains in the jars.
No, well, I don't think you're supposed to.
No, neither do I. That's obviously a thread for further on down the line.
Yeah, there feels like there's a bit of a red herring with the, look, there's teeth on the brain, because I think you're supposed to think DJD, but they're super dead.
Yeah, might just be Getaway. Likes to have a little bit of a chew.
Oh,
you know how people have a chew on a pen? Maybe it's like the same thing.
Well,
he just has busy hands. That's why he has a faceplate to cover up his very sharp mouth.
This is getting gross.
Nom nom nom
But
nom nom.
I don't know, like if
like
you
a dummy.
if you go with the idea of mental alterations, 25 people are missing. What if 25 people were resistant to being altered?
We don't know, obviously, how many brains are in here.
No, we see 3 or 4, I think.
Yeah, we see like 3 or 4 per jar, but I don't think that covers all of the people that that would follow with that kind of line of thinking that you're suggesting.
But it's interesting. Like I said, this is a really hard issue to analyze because it's very straightforward.
Yeah.
First Aid goes in, he has suspicions, he figures it out, and we get the big reveal of the dark secret behind everything.
And then he's trapped in a loop.
and then he's trapped in a loop.
Yeah.
But what I want to ask is, this Mutineers trilogy, right? How interested are you to see it play out?
More so than anything to do with Rodimus's crew, because I know it won't be focused on him. It will be focused on 2 other characters who have had far too much screen time. So I'm more interested in this than I have been for a fair amount of time, I suppose. It's not like top tier, I'm super interested, but I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah. Well, this is something that feels a bit different, at least. What about you, Mikey?
I'm definitely interested. I love mysteries, and I love horror. So horror-based mysteries, because apparently this is going to get darker.
Okay, we'll see.
Before it gets light, according to James.
Because if this was horror, I wouldn't say that this was very horror.
No, but it's sort of like uneasy horror.
Sure.
Would be the way I'd put it. But I find mental stuff as well very intriguing, and I hate Getaway. I was amused by the amount of Twitter things that went from Getaway did nothing wrong to, oh wait, Getaway actually did something wrong. Like, he pissed a lot of people off this time around, and I kind of enjoy that.
Oh, he finally, after all this time of doing terrible things, this was the time when he outright does something properly evil. They're like, maybe this guy isn't good then.
Yeah.
As he stands over a planet of dead babies laughing maniacally. He did nothing wrong.
Licking their blood off his fingers.
Yep.
Because, he was originally was implied to be about to sexually assault someone, nearly got that person murdered, had everyone locked on a planet alone with the greatest killers in the galaxy. He's fine.
He's fine. Misunderstood.
He meant well. Megatron had to be gone. Megatron needed to go.
He was trying to tuck der gerbs.
But I'm very intrigued to see where it's going. I'm also very intrigued to see if, once they're out of the loop, does Getaway have a single thing on that ship that can stop the protector box?
You mean if they can these guys combine?
Oh yeah,
I can't remember.
Defensor showed up in Combiner Wars.
Then I would suspect not. I don't think he's got anything up his sleeve that can, unless they've got, like, maybe just pull out of their ass Brainstorm tech, which is just, Brainstorm happened to have made a gun that can turn them off, or something like that.
Yeah.
Or create a black hole, or turn the ship upside down, something stupid. So, it might have something like that, I guess.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's very curious to me. Like, because all the heavy guns are gone.
Yeah, pretty much.
And even, the best they could do is hold off a combiner.
What do you mean? They've got Jackpot?
Oh, good. They've got the Drunk.
Yeah.
They've got the Drunk and Atomizer and his arrows.
Yeah, they got green, red robot arrow.
Row arrow.
Yeah.
Raro. They've got Raro.
They got mainframe.
Yay. And
Zaron.
Yeah. Quick. Use diplomacy.
It failed.
He's punted across the room. As Defensor screaming, "I'm doing this for your own protection." Well, that would be a Red Dwarf thing, where it was just, there was an episode where he had to knock people out to save the day, and he just goes around knocking everyone out.
God, I hope that's not part of it.
It would be funny though. The question is, I want to know is, or I'm very curious about, will this trilogy end with the Lost Light back in the right hands, or hands that could be right, or will Getaway come out on top?
I imagine this will, depending on what the next issue is, if it's continuing like First Aid or that crew breaking free, or it could be setting them up to put them into the position to have them have the final conflict with Hot Rod and that lot. So it depends what they're wanting to do, I suppose. Are they wanting to set up for the last fight, or will a fight happen and then it fail? A mutiny on the ship again? I don't know.
Riptide for Captain.
Because this issue feels not standalone-y, but very introduction-y, and it's not part of the rest of the two issues. It could go any direction, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, unfortunately, that is all we can really say about it. Very linear issue.
Yes.
So, Andy, give us a rating.
Well, as usual, not a fan of the art. Still don't like it. would have got a higher mark if there weren't 4 exactly the same pages in it, which pushes it down to a 6 for me, which is still probably the highest mark I've given a Lost Light.
Oh, by a country mile.
Yeah, so there's that.
Yeah, the art, the colors kind of save it for me here.
Yeah, colors are nice.
Because I think they're good, and the fact the backgrounds are better.
Yes.
Partly because Alex spent a lot of time designing them, so the references are there.
Mm-hmm.
The 4 pages were a ball ache, but they didn't ruin it for me because, to be honest, once I realized what was going on, I stopped reading.
I did the same. It just annoyed me that I kept flicking through them, going, "Oh, come on, really? 4 fucking pages? God damn it!"
So I'm not going to take a point off. I am going to say it's 7.
Okay.
I think this is the most Morden meets the eye this book is felt. I think it's only for the better. Hope this story continues to play out. Hope maybe the book takes a tonal shift back to this. Because we need to know what's going on with Rodimus. We need him to have a goal. And we need to get moving. Especially since I think we've only got 1 issue with Rodimus and then we're on to the Scavengers.
Oh, is that how it's playing out?
Yeah, preview was like Grimlock going nuts.
Yeah.
So, which, maybe if we don't enjoy the issue with the Team Rodimus, we can just enjoy an issue with the Scavengers.
Oh, I hope so. That'd be nice.
I'd be really depressed if we were going like, wow, this book gets really good when we're not focusing on the main team.
Why is that, I wonder?
I would be sad about that. I would be sad. Yeah, so that is it, I'm afraid. So bit of a slightly shorter one this week for non-Patreon people, but hope you all enjoyed it. Andy.
Yes.
Shill yourself.
You can find me on Twitter and Tumblr as CCTFW, on YouTube as Cobra Commander TFW. You can find this podcast on the Moonbase 2 forums. We're on Twitter when Mikey uses it, or on iTunes, we're on Libsyn, we're on Facebook. We're also on YouTube as Moonbase 2 Transformers podcast if you want to listen/watch us there, in quotation watches. And you can find all my nonsense and woo-woo on the ccbunker.weebly.com. And if you want to help out this show and hear us talk about ROM versus Transformers, you can head over to patreon.com/moonbase2 and do $2 each month, and you get this extended and earlier. And you get Moonbase woo-woo as well, which can be on many a different subject. Whatever we want.
Yep, mostly porn.
Mostly porn.
The tentaclist of porn.
Oh, yes. What about you, Mikey? Where can people find you on the Tinterwebs, if they want to?
You can find me on Twitter as Irish Pelly. You can find me on YouTube as GWolfie3. You can find me over on the old oldhouse.co.uk or .com or .weebly.com, whichever one it is at the moment. And you got my blog, paleonerd.wordpress.com. Still haven't updated it in a while because life. But, yeah, thank you all for listening. If you're not hanging around for the Patreon show, we will talk to you all next month. Or we'll actually talk to you all during the week, but in this context, next month. And if you are Jesus Christ, if you are hanging around for Patreon, stick with us because we are about to talk ROM versus Transformers, and holy hell,